Welcome again to day 51. Today we're going to review the game. The game, as we described and we talked about yesterday, is the only way to actually win a game or play the game is have a game to play. And the best way to actually win the game and understand the game is actually to create the game, and which is something that we do because it's specific to us. It's not somebody else's game. It's not actually taking on someone else's role. It's something that they created for their life. We actually have to create that for ourselves using the principles. It's outcome based, right? It's outcome based. When we want to expand, we say, okay, did this happen? Yes or no? It needs to be an outcome and based on our current reality, right? It's a roadmap, the outcome we desire, the outcome we want. But we have to start as we did back in the foundation, right? We had to assess our current reality. Current meaning right now, today. Not what I wish it was, not what it was 6 months ago, not what it's going to be tomorrow. But we have to assess our current reality and the truth of our reality of where we are and develop a roadmap to the outcome where we want to be. Okay, so as we develop an outcome, we know a few things, right? We know that it has to be measurable, right? It can't be, I want to have more energy, right? Like, how are you going to measure that? It has to be a yes or no in all aspects of our life, right? It's the cross body being balanced in business. And we'll have goals and we'll have objectives, we'll have outcomes in each of those areas, right? And along with being measurable, in order for them to even be measurable, they need to be specific. They have to have a specific goal that is measurable in order to actually accomplish the outcome. Now, there is one more item that we have to consider. The goal also has to be poof, impossible, right? And we say it has to be impossible because what the purpose of life is to expand, right? And when we say impossible, what we mean and what has to happen is it has to be impossible for who we are today, right? This goal has to inspire growth. It has to require growth in all areas of our life. So when we say impossible, we're saying if we remain who we are, it's going to be impossible today. It's going to be impossible if we go back and look at the earlier slide, right? The my current reality, who I am today, to get the outcome. My current reality is smaller than my outcome. If I stay in my current reality, my current state, I'm not going to be able to accomplish the reality. So, therefore, we say we need to create an impossible goal, right? Now, when we do this, we also have to do this across the board, right? We talked about earlier in the core four, right? It has to be across the board in our body being balanced in business, and we have to have once again a measurable and a specific goal for each of those areas, right? We have to have a specific goal for our body. We have to have a specific goal for our spirituality and our being. We have to have a specific goal for our relationships and our balance. We have to have a specific goal in business. And typically, that's one of the easier ones because money is specific. Dollars are specific. Numbers are specific. Um, and once again, to recap the entire matter, right, which is what we want to do. The purpose of our life is to expand, right? To create a challenge that will actually challenge us, right? It's not to, can I set a goal that I can accomplish who I am, where I am, and it becomes a to-do list, right? We don't want a to-do list. We actually want to win the game of expansion. So, once again, to live the first thing we have to do is we have to live in the current truth of our current reality, right? We can't bullshit ourselves, which I have done in the past, right? Like, I live on the past things I've accomplished. I am this person. I am an entrepreneur. I am a winner, in the game that I no longer am winning in, right? The game that I won last week or last month or last year or 10 years ago is no longer relevant. And we find ourselves in a habit that and I come across people all the time that have at one time succeeded They didn't change, they didn't expand, they didn't grow, they didn't stay in the current game, and they're appalled that they can't maintain an identity, they can't maintain a kingdom in a whole new game. It's a fluid life, and it changes um, as you go through, and you need to stay on top of the wave, so to speak, and stay on top of the curve and actually expand so you stay on top, because the world is expanding, people are expanding, and the world is expanding around you. So, once again, it's important to designate the desired outcome. We talked earlier about how to accomplish that. If you recall the one thing, the keys, and so on. But one of the most important things in developing the map, the roadmap, is to be truthful about where you are. Right? You need to be um, today. Right? We need to establish where we are today, what our desired outcome is. Make sure it is measurable. Make sure it is specific so it can be measured, and it has to be impossible so that it requires you to grow as a person, to expand as a person, which is the goal and the sole purpose of life. Once again, they have to be across all areas of life, body, being, balance, and business, and they have to promote the expansion, which is again the purpose of life. Our assignment is once again to teach this. If you can't teach it, you don't know it. If you don't know it, you can't live it, along with the other things listed at the bottom of the page. I will talk to you again tomorrow.